On the 11th day of pleasure, my true love, that's you, you're your true love, gave to me 11 sounds inviting, 10 lords of fucking, 9 humans creating, becoming your own king, 7 lights not dimming, 6 ways of playing, 5 golden rings, 4 brains with no words, 3 sex dens, 1 love and trust and erotic sovereignty. Welcome to the 12 days of pleasure. It's been fun singing with you over the past 11 days. We are on day 11 today of the 12 days of pleasure. And what I'm doing every day is bringing you some sexy, hot, juicy tips to embody your orgasmic energy and excellence. And we are going to be going deeper into these tools and tips this weekend at Pleasure Alchemy. I see a bunch of you signing up last minute, so I see you. You like to tease yourself. You like to be like, I don't really know if I want this. I don't really know if I need this. I'm going to wait till the last minute, right? Like, totally hot, you kinky fuckers. I see you, and I see you all jumping on this morning. A bunch of you registered. I love it. So just know that if you're a kinky fucker who likes to tease yourself before you jump in, continue playing that game. And who cares if you do it last minute? I sure don't, right? You get to play in the celebration of how your nervous system likes to dance. So I will see you all tomorrow at Pleasure Alchemy. I'm super excited. And we are going to be playing with all of the tips that I've mentioned over the last 11 days live over the weekend, plus extra yummy juiciness, including my like undivided attention towards your energy field, towards what's going on in your energy, including deep erotic permission for yourself, including these really incredible connections made with an erotic community that are celebrating you at your highest state of being, right? How many times can you say that you have a community that does that? That you have a community that's like, you know what? I see you. I know who you are. I see you in your full aliveness. And then they can then hold you to that standard. So I'm so excited. It's starting in 2 days. I am in total like prep mode, which for Genevieve looks like orgasms and massages and playing and drinking green tea and creating and seeing what else I want to fuck with on the curriculum. It's been a blast. It's been so much fun. So I cannot wait to see you there. We're going to dive into today's topic, which is one that I don't see enough sexuality educators touching on. Except for Destin. Shout out to Destin Garrett, because you almost always bring this up, and I really want to appreciate that about your mastery here. When I heard you say it, I was like, this guy, he gets it. So there's something really beautiful about the connection between the throat and the vocal cords and what's happening with your voice and what's happening with your genitals. When we shut down the voice, we shut down the genitals. When the genitals are shut down, the voice gets shut down. So in my story, right, my story and my storyline was that at a very young age, I was sexually abused, sexually molested, and that continued. And then other occurrences would appear. Right. And as that kept happening, my voice kept shutting down. I had to go to speech therapy. I was very, very afraid of speaking up, speaking in front of people. My singing voice, I was always judging, which is really fun to reclaim for the 12 days of pleasure here. And I just, in general, just shut all of that down, right? I was like this, right? And what happens when we shut down the voice is we shut down what else, guys? We shut down the breath. When we're not when we're not moving air through the body this way, we can't move it down and out this way, right? And so many of us are taught in sexuality trainings simply to bring the energy up through the top of the head, but there's also something about this network of creation out of the mouth, right? And the ability to speak your desires, the ability to say, I want more, 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 or no, I don't want that. Right? So learning how to set yourself up with the boundaries, consent, and your desires and asks, right, is key toward fulfilling your sexual aliveness. So I just want you to think for a moment, if you're watching live or on the replay, just think for a moment about the places where you bypassed your sexual voice. Where are the places where you bypassed the words that your genitals, your sexuality wanted to say, and instead you remained mute? Or instead you said something other than what was truly honest with what your body wanted. Often we've got our voice connected to our mind, right? So it's saying the things we think we should say rather than the voice connected to the genitals or the anus, which is like the embodied voice, right? The voice that knows, right? Many of you might see me come on Facebook Lives or do webinars and think, how is Genevieve just channeling, right? And to be honest, I don't prep for these. I barely am prepping for Pleasure Alchemy. You should see my segments say just like, get a question from the audience and ramble on for an hour and play with their energy and do some crazy energetic catharsis and maybe demo some orgasms, right? Like there's an allowance and a trust of my energetic field and my body, and allowance and a trust of yours as well. Because what I do know, what I've seen over the years in working with neuroticism, is that this energy that runs through our system, that runs through our body, is the most trusted energy, right? It naturally knows how to bring us back to truth. That's the way it works, right? It knows. It's like, I got you. I know where to go. And what we do, right, living in a world where we aren't connected into the body, we're not rooted into the body, right? We're sitting in front of screens and thinking with our mind and thinking, do I understand or do I have questions, right? Instead of going, what does this feel like? What does this feel like? What do I notice in my body? What does this do to my breath? What does this feel like on my skin and my muscles? How does this feel in my bones? What happens to my heart when I'm touched there or touched there? What's happening to my genitals when I'm touched this way or this way, right? These are the questions that over generations and generations we've been taught to shut down. And by virtue of shutting down these questions, we've also shut down our innate, natural, embodied power. So many of you ask me, Genevieve, how do you find your passion in the world? How do you find your true purpose? How do you know what you're supposed to do and what you're supposed to say, right? Every single one of us has a voice that is supposed to be channeled outside of us, right? The words were created for you to continue to create. Love, peace, enlightenment, whatever it is for you, right? But you have words to say, and they are different than mine, and they are different than theirs and theirs and theirs. You innately have those within your pelvis, within your genitals, within your body. And as you continue to embody who you are and unravel the conditioning that tells you that you need to go to your brain in order to speak, you can start to find yourself surprising yourself. You can start to find yourself turning yourself on with your voice. You can start to find yourself going, oh my God, that's so good, right? And then you go scramble to write it down. This is what my day looks like, right? And this is how constant flow and creation gets to come through my system, that I provide the structure of self-pleasure, of sex, right? I provide the structure of making sure that I check in first and foremost with what's happening within my skin. And then from that space, I say, what wants to be birthed through me today? I breathe it into my womb, into my genitals, into my low back, and I feel what's true for the present moment. So many of us, when we're planning to speak something into the space, or even when how many of you, I used to do this all the time, I used to plan conversations before I would talk to them. Just type in if like that's something that you've done. Oh my God, all the time, right? I used to do that constantly. Does the conversation ever actually play out the way that you planned it? No. Because the only thing that's true is the present moment. And the only thing you get to play with and create in is the present and the future moments, right? But to do it, to plan out how the present moment is going to play out, is putting too much pressure on you. When you can let yourself dissolve open, then the breath and the voice and the pleasure and the words that want to be said simply allow themselves to move through you and fuck what's in front of you with the voice and with the words that you say. So those of you that have, and this is for everyone, right? Like vocal, speaking, words, this isn't just for you and your business, growing your speaking gig. This is also for how you relate to your partner. How many of you, before you go speak to them, you think something, and the thinking is usually a trigger, right? Like, oh, why didn't they do that? Or, I gotta get away, right? That's the thought. You recognize that, and then you speak from that thought. You go, yeah, that's good, right? I'm gonna say that. And that what that's doing is that's not allowing us to feel our bodies and our nervous systems, the nervous system of our partner. And without this feeling, the best way I can describe it is kind of like a one. You can feel how they're breathing, and you can feel how they're moving. And when you can tune in and literally attune to your partner, the words that move through you, right, are particularly placed, particularly timed to continue to move the energy between you. So there's always an energetic between one partner and another, right? There's an energy, there's like a bubble in the middle. I see this when I work, I see it visually, but you can probably also feel it, right? If you've ever like someone that you've really turned on by, when they step into the room, it's like the air gets thicker, right? That's the energetic bubble that's between two people. And your your words can either collapse that bubble and bring and release the energy so that it's like no longer pulling you towards each other. The air can also, the bubble can get bigger and wider so it feels impossible to reach the person, or the words that you use can elicit this kind of attunement between the two of you. Now, when we think about which words to use, we are not attuning to the energetic bubble that's between us. How do we figure out what to say? Well, we find our turn on through our genitals, our pelvis, our anus, wherever it's somewhere around this area, right? We find the turn on here, we find the movement here, we find the breath, we find the pleasure there. And then the words that we say will drop into the space between you and your partner to create something fresh and new in the present moment. This is also how we have sex, but instead of with words, we do it with movement. Right? It's a dance. And this is what we're going to be teaching at Pleasure Alchemy. I'm actually putting in an entire segment because so many of you have been asking me about relating and relationship and increasing polarity and turn on there. So I'm going to put a piece in with Sabrina, my partner, and we're going to be showing you how we dance with the space between. Right? How I know where to go without having to think about it, but I can feel into it. And rather than just watching us, you're going to be able to feel that magic that I'm talking about that is actually with us all the time. It's right now with us between me and you, the watcher and me, right? You can feel that. There's something there. That's something. I want you to start trusting it and believing it by letting go of what the thoughts want to do and allowing the words to move through you without it. All right, so let me know what dropped in for you today. I will see you tomorrow for the 12th day of the 12 Days of Pleasure. And then on Friday, I will see you all 7 p.m. Eastern, Pleasure Alchemy. I'm so fucking excited. Remember, there are awesome freebie gifts, all that jazz. The after party, we're working on it. So you can win the after party. You can get a backstage pass. Like, there's all sorts of fun shit. There's free tickets available. Just jump into the Pleasure Circle if you haven't already to get all those bonuses. Or if you don't want to, you can just go ahead and grab the link here in my profile to jump in with us at Pleasure Alchemy. You do not want to miss this weekend. Bring your partner, have them register separately. A lot of you have been asking that separately because you're going to be on individual Zoom boxes, unless I work with you as a couple, but most likely it's an individual Zoom box. So make sure to register and register your partner or friends, single and couples included, all genders, all gender representations, all sexualities. We have a really yummy slew of non-binary, male, female. Like, it is just about equal. So I want you to really know that you are welcome here. This is home for you. We are diverse, we are inclusive, and all of you, every single person that's coming to Pleasure Alchemy, I just want to celebrate you for reclaiming that erotic essence that is who you are. For saying, I will no longer be what society conditioned me into being, but I will be my full, true self. You will find that this weekend, and I cannot wait to celebrate you when you find it. All right, I'll see y'all soon. Bye.